Trans fat, also known as trans fatty acids, is a type of unsaturated fat that has undergone a process called hydrogenation. Hydrogenation involves adding hydrogen atoms to liquid vegetable oils, which makes them more solid at room temperature and increases their shelf life. Trans fat can be found in a variety of processed and fried foods, as well as in some naturally occurring amounts in certain animal-based products. Here are some key points about trans fat. Sources of trans fat. This is the type of trans fat that is most harmful to health and is often found in partially hydrogenated oils used in many processed foods such as fried foods, baked goods, like cakes, pies, and pastries, margarine, and some snack foods, like microwave popcorn. Natural trans fat. Small amounts of trans fat can also be found naturally in some animal-based foods like dairy products and meat. However, the health impact of these naturally occurring trans fats is not as clear-cut as that of artificial trans fats. Impact on human health. Negative health effects. Consumption of artificial trans fat is associated with a range of negative health effects, including an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. It can raise levels of LDL, low-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, often referred to as bad cholesterol, while also lowering levels of HDL, high-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, considered good cholesterol. Heart disease. Trans fat intake is particularly concerning because it raises the risk of coronary heart disease by promoting inflammation, contributing to the formation of arterial plaques, and impairing the function of blood vessels. Trans fat and labeling. Many countries have implemented regulations requiring the labeling of trans fat content on food packages. Some have even banned or severely restricted the use of artificial trans fats in foods. Health recommendations. Health experts and organizations, including the World Health Organization, WHO, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, recommend minimizing or eliminating the consumption of artificial trans fats from the diet. Instead of consuming trans fats, it is advisable to focus on healthier fats, such as monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats found in sources like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish. In recent years, there has been a significant reduction in the use of artificial trans fats in processed foods due to increased awareness of their health risks and regulatory actions. However, it is still important for individuals to read food labels carefully and make informed choices to minimize their consumption of trans fats and maintain a heart-healthy diet. Chemical structure. Trans fats have a unique chemical structure that distinguishes them from other types of fats. Trans fats are unsaturated fats, like monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, but they have at least one double bond in a trans configuration. This means that the hydrogen atoms on either side of the double bond are on opposite sides of the carbon chain. The trans configuration gives trans fats their characteristic physical properties, making them more solid at room temperature compared to oils with a cis configuration, where the hydrogen atoms are on the same side of the double bond. Sources of trans fat. Partially hydrogenated oils. The primary source of artificial trans fats is partially hydrogenated oils. These oils are created by adding hydrogen to liquid vegetable oils, typically soybean, canola, or cottonseed oil, through a chemical process. This makes the oil more stable for cooking and extends the shelf life of products made with them. Processed foods. Trans fats are commonly found in a wide range of processed foods, including snack foods, potato chips, crackers, and fried snacks. Baked goods, pastries, cakes, cookies, muffins, and donuts. Fried foods. Fast food items like French fries and fried chicken. Margarine and some butter substitutes. Naturally occurring trans fat. Small amounts of trans fat can occur naturally in the meat and dairy products of ruminant animals like cows and sheep. This is due to a microbial hydrogenation process in their stomachs. However, these natural trans fats are generally considered to have different health effects compared to artificial trans fats and are not as strongly associated with cardiovascular risks. Health impact. Cardiovascular health. The consumption of artificial trans fats has been strongly linked to an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. This is primarily due to their negative effects on blood cholesterol levels, inflammation, and blood vessel function. Cholesterol levels. Trans fats raise levels of LDL, low-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, which can lead to the buildup of arterial plaques. They also lower levels of HDL, high-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, which helps remove LDL cholesterol from the bloodstream. Inflammation. Trans fats can promote inflammation in the body, which is a key factor in the development of heart disease and other chronic health conditions. Insulin resistance. Consumption of trans fats is associated with an increased risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Mental health. Emerging research has suggested a potential link between trans fat consumption and an increased risk of depression and other mental health issues, although more research is needed in this area. In response to the well-established health risks associated with artificial trans fats, many countries have taken regulatory actions to limit or eliminate their use in food production. This has resulted in a significant reduction in trans fat consumption in many parts of the world, leading to potential improvements in public health. However, it remains important for individuals to be aware of food labels and make informed dietary choices to minimize their intake of trans fats.